Good afternoon, friends and family. If any of my family members are watching this, they're probably not. Welcome back to the channel. We've got some exciting stuff going on lately. We've got a new, probably the most interesting modification I've ever seen to the BitAxe Gamma. Also working on a secret prototype for the NerdQX++ miner. But we're going to talk about all that later on down the road. Today we're going to talk about something a little different. We are going to talk about GoMining. What is GoMining? Have you ever heard of GoMining? Should you go mining? Well, let's figure all that out. So this caught my attention on Reddit. I saw it mentioned in a few subs, and I overlooked it at first. But as I saw it mentioned again and again, I thought, you know what? I'm going to take a look and figure out what this was. Because I wasn't sure, is this some sort of game? Is this some sort of, scam? What the hell is GoMining? So I looked into it, and here is what I know so far. So basically, GoMining is owned by a company called GoMining. And they own a bunch of large-scale mining operations. And what they allow you to do is purchase a digital miner, and what that grants you is they allocate some of their mining power or some of their hash rate to you. So you can buy a miner at various hash rates, more or less, and based on the miner that you purchase, you're able to earn some rewards every single day. And so it's kind of an interesting concept. They have a website you can use. You can access it that way. They also have an app on the phone. And I believe there is actually a game component to this. So you can do other things to earn rewards. You can interact with other people online. You can build a little community around your digital mining hobby. So that's kind of neat, I guess. But for me, I'm all about making money. I don't have time to play games. My goal in life is to make money, acquire financial freedom, and then spend time with my family and the people I love, traveling around the world and doing things that I enjoy. That's really what I'm after. So again, not trying to play Roblox, which again, nothing wrong with Roblox if you're into Roblox, but I just don't have the time for it. I guess I'm a busy life. But GoMining is actually kind of cool. So I logged in, I created an account, and just kind of went through some of the motions to see what I can uncover as far as GoMining is concerned. And what I realized, obviously, is that to get started, you need to create yourself a miner. And so looking at a few of the options here, they've got 1 terahash, 4.26, 10.93, 22.22, and they also have custom, so you can go way up. Hash rate, again, is the amount of mining power that the miner has in very, very simple terms. So a couple of options here, and this kind of shows you, what you can buy. The 4.26 terahash version is $100. I think. And I need to do some investigation here. I should have known this all before I pressed record today, but hey, that's where we're at, okay? Give me a break. But the $100 one, I believe that's yours for life, or the life of this company. Maybe it's once a year. Need to double check on that. I'll leave a comment once I figure this out down below in the comments section. But here you've got a 4.26 terahash digital miner that you can buy. $100. It's going to generate for you 178 sats or satoshis per day. And to break that down into real numbers that you can understand, 178 sats, man, I'm getting tongue-tied again today, is worth about 22 cents. So not great. You're not getting rich off making 22 cents a day. But if you consider something like a BitAxe is $100. You actually get a physical device with a BitAxe. You're only going to get about 1.5 terahashes with that thing. And if you pool mine with it, like they're doing here, you're only going to earn about 3-4 cents a day. So you're earning a little more with this particular setup. Now, again, the BitAxe is not made for pool mining. The BitAxe is a lottery miner. You're not going for those small rewards. You're going for those big blocks worth a substantial amount of money. Right now, the block reward for Bitcoin is 3.125 Bitcoins, which is worth somewhere in the ballpark of 385,000 United States dollars. So that's what you use a BitAxe for. If you buy a BitAxe and you set it up with a pool mine, you're going to make a few cents a day. It's not exciting. It's not fun. You're never going to get a return on your investment. That is not what they're designed for. They're solo miners. They are lottery miners. But this here is different. This is pool mining, where you pool your resources with other miners and you try to solve blocks, you do stuff, and you split the rewards throughout the network based on your contribution. So with this, it's actually not terrible in terms of pool mining. If you spend $100 on an actual physical miner, your return is not going to be that high. So getting this far into the process, I realized, okay, this is actually reasonable. You know, if you were making a penny a day, unreasonable. That's a total scam, not worth your money. But it seems like they're actually pretty fair with what they give you. If you spend $500, now you're going to go up to, let's see, you are at 931 sats a day. That is going to be, where'd I put that thing here? 931 is $1.13 a day. So, you know, you're making some money. You're making $400 a year or something like that. Actually, not too terrible. I don't know why it says the return on investment is only 44%. That doesn't break down very well if the math is correct there. We'll have to take a look into that. Am I doing it right? Is it 931? I believe it's 931. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 931 sats. I don't know. I don't know how long they give you access to this miner. We really need to figure that out to understand the return on investment here. But it's actually not a bad deal. This is a way that you can get into mining, sort of, with a relatively low cost. Now, if it's between something like this and a BitAxe, I like physical things. I really do. I'm old enough to remember the days when if you wanted to buy, your favorite artist had an album come out. You went to the store and you bought the CD. And I enjoyed that because when you bought the CD, you actually got a physical case. It had cool artwork. You opened it up. It had the lyrics in it. Sometimes there was a little bonus thing in there or a bonus track on the CD. I'm dating myself here and showing my age. I actually look a little older than I actually am because I got all this gray in my beard. Actually, I got more gray hair than my dad, and he's older than me, believe it or not. But that's what happens when you have a stressful life and kids and businesses and all that kind of stuff. No big deal. So, you know, if it's between something like a digital miner and buying something like a BitAxe, I'm always going to go for the BitAxe. I like the actual thing. And of course, I'm all about solo mining. That's my deal. I make a lot of videos about solo lottery mining. It's way more exciting for me than, you know, making those few cents a day. I don't care about that. Making $1 a day does not excite me or interest me. So while I'm after those big payouts, and again, that's kind of my thing, anything that talks about Bitcoin mining or digital mining, any of that kind of stuff, it captures my attention because I'm interested in this stuff. And so that's why I was looking into this whole GoMining situation. Now, when I logged into my account today, just to go through the steps of creating a miner, I wanted to see, you know, what the prices were for the really expensive ones. And I noticed there was an option to get a free bonus miner. I'm like, free? I love free things. I'll try anything if it's free. Most things. Some things. And so I went ahead took the steps to claim my bonus miner. The way it works is this. So first thing you do is just claim it, easy peasy. It's yours. You got it for a day. And you extend the life of it. So you get a day for each of these tasks that you complete. And I went through the tasks, and the first task was you have to complete a lesson. I've already done this. Start your crypto learning journey. Complete any one lesson in the GoMining Academy and take your first, what does it say? And take your first into the world of crypto. It should say step there, but it doesn't. It says complete any one lesson in the GoMining Academy and take your first into the world of crypto. I assume they mean to say a step. Anyway, well, I took my first into the world of crypto. I completed the step, and I went through their little quiz to get my extended day. So I have an extra day of my little cool miner that they made for me. This one is actually a 16 terahash miner. And if I wanted to build something like that, let's see how much that would cost. Probably be pretty expensive. Let's see, 20 watts. I want a custom level. Give me a 16 one. A 16, that's a $373 miner. That's a lot. So it's giving me for free a $373 digital miner. I just have to continue to do these lessons, do some quizzes, and do all of that stuff. So anyway, I did the first one to extend it and get an extra day using this miner. And I went through the quiz, and it was actually relevant, valuable information. If you are new to the world of Bitcoin or Bitcoin mining, this is actually very helpful stuff. I knew all the answers. I didn't have to there's videos that you watch. I did not have to watch the videos. And in fact, here's a cheat code. You can skip the videos. But if you're trying to learn, watch the videos. There was actually some good information there. It's actually worthwhile. You will know more than you knew before if you give it a shot and you go through the lessons and see what the guy is talking about. He's got some good stuff to say. Some of the other things they want you to do, watch the YouTube guide. That gets you a day. Join GoMining on Discord. That gets you an additional day. Easy. Join GoMining on Telegram. That gets you another day. Join GoMining on X, and then you have another day. So now you're up to like a week. And then bonus miner, create your own miner. So it wants you to buy one. So you have to bust out the old credit card and spend some money if you want to keep this thing going, evidently. That's the rub. So you're going to get, let's see here. Is it a week? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. To get the full 7 days, you're going to end up having to spend some money. But you get a week worth of use out of that $373 miner. And if you do that, you're going to get, let's see how much money that will actually get you. So with my little bonus miner, I'm going to make about 31 cents a day in USD. That's going to fluctuate a little bit based on the price of Bitcoin. So 31 cents a day times 7 days in a week. That is 217 cents, which is $2.17. So going through all this is going to make me $2. Not exciting, really, but kind of fun. And it's definitely a good way to learn about this stuff. Again, if you're new to it, you don't know anything about it, you've got kids that are interested in it, this is a good way for them to immerse themselves in the world of Bitcoin mining. And what I generally find is when you get into this world, you don't like complete a step and stop there. So you go and you buy yourself a BitAxe. Now you want to learn about how mining really works, and you want to learn more about the Bitcoin network. And then after that, you realize that's not enough power. So now you want to buy a slightly better device. So now you're doing a whole bunch of research about the NerdQX++ miner, and you're buying one of those things. Now you want to squeeze a little more juice out of it, and so you want to modify it, and you want to do some 3D printing stuff. Now you're reading about 3D printing, and you just keep going down these rabbit holes and learning the entire time. And that's one of the things that I really enjoy about this little hobby or pursuit, or whatever you want to call it. That's one of the cool things about it. And then, of course, from there, once you've modified your NerdQX++, now you're buying something like an Avalon Q, and now you're debating on which coin you want to mine, and do you want to pool mine with it, or do you want to use it for solo mining? And as you go every step of the way, you're continuing to build that base of knowledge that you have about Bitcoin and mining and all that stuff, which I think is valuable for some people. Some people don't care about it, and that's okay. We all have our thing, right? We all have the things that we like and enjoy, and this happens to be one of the many things that I like and enjoy. So GoMining, I actually think it's really cool. I'm not going to spend a bunch of money on it. I'm not going to go buy myself a miner and start earning pool rewards with that. If I wanted to do that, I would just take one of my miners and start to pool mine with it. In fact, I'm going to make a video here in the next few days where for 24 hours, I'm going to take all my miners and I'm going to pool mine with them and see, based on my current setup, how much money I can make on a daily basis, just out of curiosity. I think with my current setup, it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of like $7 a day or something like that, which, not terrible. I could probably at least pay my electricity bill and make a few bucks on top of that. So that would be decent, I guess. So that'll be another video. We'll try that later on. But as far as this goes, this is not, something that is going to get you into a Lamborghini. You're not going to make a ton of money. You're not going to wake up like you are with something like a BitAxe and potentially have a chance to have like a life-changing windfall amount of money. Now with the BitAxe, if this thing solves a block overnight while I'm sleeping, I'm going to wake up with 3.125 Bitcoins. Now, if I'm in a solo pool and I have to pay 1% of that, I'm still going to wake up with a pretty huge chunk of change. I'll get 99% of that reward. I'm still, in the ballpark of like $380,000, which is substantial. And that's why I really like the lotto mining stuff. I like the solo mining stuff. And those devices are great. This, I think, is ideal for someone who wants to make a game out of mining and get into that gaming side of things. I think this is great for somebody who just doesn't know shit at all about mining and wants to get into just learning about it. It's just another mining-related activity that you can get into. And I think some of that stuff is pretty cool. So, for that, I think it's fantastic. Definitely exceeded my expectations. I really didn't know what we were going to get into here. I didn't know if this was going to be something scammy. That was kind of my first thought. This is like Bitcoin mine from your iPhone. Every time I hear something like that, it never pans out. There are no apps that you can buy that are going to make you rich. Bitcoin mining. You can't turn your iPhone into a Bitcoin miner. At the very best, you can get involved with like cloud mining. And so, there are certain apps and certain companies that you can pay where they do something similar to this. Basically, you're paying for mining power, someone else's mining power, and they allocate it towards you, and so you reap the rewards that it generates, or a portion of those rewards anyway. And so this is kind of an extension of that, but I think it's a very clever way to do it. I think they did a beautiful job with the website. I think it looks really nice. And I think the little miner artwork is pretty cool. Some of that stuff, I think if I had like a picture of one of these miners. Where's that little thing at? If I had something like one of these things, yeah, like a little 3D model of it would be cool. Again, I like physical, real things. Or a picture of it on the wall. I think that'd be cool. Like this little thing on the iPhone. That's a wacky looking little device. I like that. They did a really nice job here. So overall, I give it my seal of approval. Now that said, take that lightly because, I haven't earned any money with this yet. I haven't seen any money into my account. I don't know how my little free bonus miner is doing. As far as I know, it hadn't made me any money yet. I still see $0 on my dashboard. But maybe that'll change as it spends its day mining away. Go, little miner, go. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to go through the rest of these tasks. Again, watching a YouTube video, that's pretty easy. Joining the stuff it's asking me to join, I'm happy to do that. That'll be pretty easy. And we'll see what happens after a week of this thing. Maybe I'll make a follow-up video just talking about my exciting week on GoMining. I may even go crazy. I know this is crazy, but I may even do the like $23 miner just to kind of keep this thing going and just see how it goes. Watch for updates and all that because I will give them credit for this. This is a very clever idea and it's an interesting way to get people involved with mining. And I think the educational component is a really cool add-on. They've kind of built this whole thing around the educational component. So if you don't know anything at all about Bitcoin mining, this is a pretty decent place to start. Now, of course, you can always go to Reddit or YouTube or things like that, and you can learn all day long. But this kind of teaches you some of the fundamentals. You get into some of just the basics. And, again, from there, the idea is that core of knowledge inspires you to go and learn more. And then maybe one day you've got some like beautiful mining farm with a bunch of solar panels in Idaho, and you're making a whole bunch of money and enjoying life and keeping yourself warm with the heat that the miners generate. It could be you one day, who knows? Or, maybe it inspires you to go buy a BitAxe and you're the next guy to hit a block on CK Pool. You wake up in the morning, you've got 3.125 Bitcoins, and then you're commenting on one of my videos and saying, hey, Ryan, I saw your video. I got involved with GoMining, and then I bought myself a little solo miner, and then now I'm making all kinds of pool rewards, and I hit a block, and I bought myself a Lamborghini, and here's a video link of me in my Lamborghini doing donuts in it. That'd be cool. I like to see people succeed. I like when good things happen to people, and I hope good things happen to you. So that's my take on this whole GoMining thing. That's it in a nutshell. I mean, if you're looking for like super detailed stuff about how to set it up, or you want to know about like a long-term experience with this, that's really not this video. Again, I'm just figured this stuff out like 24 hours ago. But I did think it was interesting enough to talk about. I want to talk about things that are potentially beneficial to the community. I'll also cover things that I think are scammy and bad because we need to know about that stuff too. But as far as GoMining goes, actually pretty cool. So that's all I got for today. Let me know if you have any questions about any of this stuff. You can always leave me a comment, or you can send me a message on Instagram if you want, and I'm happy to answer any questions that are like, Bitcoin mining related. I'm not going to get into a bunch of personal stuff with strangers, but you want to know stuff about mining or, a BitAxe or a NerdQX++ or any of that stuff, I am happy to help you any way that I can. So happy mining. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you next time.